As somebody who's been using their phone as a GPS on their motorcycles for years, I was kind of hesitant to get something like an Android Auto system for a bike. Didn't know how much I'd use it. Carpuride sent me one, and I want to check it out, see if it'll change my mind on whether or not it's worth it, and we're going to install it on the Ibex 450. So if you're on the fence about using your phone or GPS system, this could be a good video for you. Or if you've already got the Ibex and a system, you want to know how to install it, also a good video for you. Stay tuned. So I mentioned I've been using my phone, use this Peak Designs mount. The thing is awesome. I love it. It's convenient. The biggest issue that I have in South Texas is that this will actually overheat if I'm on a long ride. So I'm curious to know if I can still keep this here, use it as Android Auto for the Carpuride system, which I'm going to mount up here. Will the phone stay safer? Depending on how you want to set it up, the Ibex 450 actually has a USB and a USB-C port directly to the left of the dash. You could potentially just plug it directly into that. There's also an accessories port behind this panel here, and an additional accessories port under the seat right here. So I'm going to unbox this new Carpuride system and see which would be the best here. So initially when Carpuride reached out, I said no, because this isn't something that I ever considered buying, but after getting this Ibex, I've had so many people tell me that I need to get this system, specifically the Carpuride. I sincerely hope I'm saying that correctly. I went with the 5-inch display, because I thought that would fit better on the bike. And I did get the one that has the base mount system too. That way this will stay put on the bike and I could take the screen off if I want to. So you've got the screen, the base, you have a control system that you can put on the bars. This is a fused mounting system to the battery, which is disconnectable with waterproof connections, I might add. This system did come with the tire pressure monitoring system, so these will go on the valve stems and I can monitor the tire pressure through the screen. The USB plug if you want to go directly into the USB port. A variety of different adapters and bolts, hardware to mount it to the bike, bar clamp, and what looks to be a ram bar, which will probably attach with this as well. A fuse for the fused connection, and then an instruction manual. It does cover an installation, simple wiring diagram, pretty easy to install. It's just running the wires back to the battery. Operation instructions. Now this product is produced in China, but the instructions are in English and they look fairly well written too. It even talks about pairing to your phone. This does work for Android Auto and Apple Carplay. The base plate removal key is on a bag that's attached to the back. Let's take the screen off so when we do the installation of the back plate, we don't have to worry about damaging anything. So the Ibex has a mounting bar that's on the screen system itself. It's a narrower bar, but it also goes up and down with the windscreen as you adjust it. So I wanted to get a hard mount. I got this one on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description below. But my plan is to mount this directly above the dash, the main dash. I think the 5-inch was the way to go. It doesn't look out of place. It's smaller than the main dash. I think the 7-inch would have been too big. I didn't want to impede my view. If you like adventure biking, if you like dirt biking, if you like supermotos, and if you like e-bikes, subscribe to the channel. I do all kinds of things on 2 wheels. That's why we're called WeRideTwo. In full transparency, I have not done this before. I've not taken these panels off. I've not taken the cage off. I'm not quite sure how best to do this, so let's learn together. I started by pulling off the seat. Obviously, I wanted to see where the battery terminals were. Very clearly under the seat. It looks like there's enough of a channel under here that I could just run it straight under the tank behind the fairings, and then up through the center console and come out the port right, or the opening right here, to then plug into the system there. So what I'm going to do, start for, is take out the screws here, 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 and here, and see if I can pull this panel off enough where I can just fish it through and see if I can not have to take off the crash cage. Really probably should take off the crash cage, but I'm being lazy, so let's see if it pays off. Sometimes it really is easier to work smarter, not harder, and I'm probably making myself work harder. Being as I've not done this on this bike before, I don't know if it's clips or if it's Velcro like some bikes have. So on the gray trim, there's a rubber grommet that holds it in. There's a rubber grommet right here. There's a grommet right here. And here. And some plastic clips right here. This might be enough so I can kind of fish it through. So now we got to figure out this panel right here because I got to get underneath the gas tank. I think there's a push panel right here. If I put my hand underneath and on top and kind of pull away, it pops. So that loud pop was the plastic clip. There's a plastic clip right there. which means there's probably one up here too. But that might actually be enough. So I have this fish that I attached the female end of the power clip to, and we're going to try to push it through from the back end, staying close, trying to stay close to the panel. And it should pull me through up here. There you go, see it coming through? Sweet. This might actually work. And then from down here, see if I can grab it from behind the frame. I'm gonna have to take the camera off to do that though. And we've got it out front. Sweet. I like it. That worked pretty well. Based on the length that it's attached to the base, I know that I actually have to pull that cord all the way up because this will only go to right there, just inside that housing. So I'm gonna pull the windscreen off just so I can finagle this stuff in the front. When's the last time you used the word finagle? All of these Allens so far, the bolts have been a size 5 metric Allen key, by the way. I like it when companies make their products consistent like that and I don't have to switch between like 4 different tools to take things apart. Obviously, if I were taking the whole bike apart, it'd be a different story. This fish tool is proving really handy. So I got the fish to go through the front, comes out just behind the crash bar. I'm gonna hook the wire back on and hope that I can pull this through. And I got it through. Sweet. So depending on how you want to mount it, you've got this adapter bar that goes between the balls. I don't necessarily want to do that because it's going to stick out too far from the dash. Obviously I can move it around a little bit like that, but I want to hard mount it. I want to take out that middle piece. So let's take out that middle piece and just mount the clamp directly to the base. In the interest of full disclosure, I want to make sure you're aware of the fact that Carpuride sent me this device in exchange for this video, but I was very clear with them. I did not want to give a positive review. I wanted to give my honest review. They said that's fine. I said I'm not even sure that I'm going to be able to endorse this product. They said that's fine. We want to know your opinion, what your thoughts are, and if you have any questions, let us know. I said, are you okay with me approaching this video in the sense of, will this change my mind? They said yes, and we think it will. Let's see. On the clamp itself, there's a screw that holds the ball in. Phillips head screwdriver, and detach the ball. Slides right out. And then on the base, there's another Phillips head inside of this ball. And that pops right off as well. And now, you can mount this directly together, like so. Take the screw that you just took out, put it in the clamp, and screw it back together. I'm going to go with the clamp end on the top. In the other little bag of goodies, you've got a bunch of hardware, some tools. These are the adapters that you'll need based on the size of the bar you're putting it on. So make sure you get the right ones. For my application, I chose to put the 2 larger adapters in and then 1 smaller adapter. That'll make it the right fit to clamp down on the bar I'm using. Before you get it too tight, make sure you position it where you want it. And try not to drop stuff. Before I crank it down, really tighten it. I want to see if that's the right angle that I want to be at. Wrap these wires this way too. So I got to stay out of the way of that gear drive. Let me go grab the screen and see if I like where it's at. Alright, I'm glad I checked. I do want that a little bit higher. That way it's about the same angle as the main dash. Alright, it is wired up. Well, that's connected. I haven't connected it to the battery yet. Shouldn't have to say it. Red to red, black to black. Make sure the connections are tight, secure. Use that same zip tie that came with the wires to keep those wrapped up. Oh, sorry. Twist ties are your friends. Don't want that just flapping around in there. Tucked it away nicely on the side. Keep the fuse up there, should be fine. Don't really want to block the airbox too much. So because I wired it directly to the battery, it's got constant power. There is a button on the side right here. That is how you turn it on and off. If you don't want to hardwire it and have to turn it on and off each time, on the Ibex 450, right here, there are two accessory wires. Got a red and a green. The red wire is hot, the green wire is ground. These will only activate after you turn the key. We'll pop these back into place now. There we go. Boom. I'm going to see how much of a nuisance it is having to turn it on and off with the switch versus having it hardwired in. I kind of like the idea of being able to turn it off and not have to worry about it. But at the same time, if you leave it on, it'll drain the battery power, and then you run the risk of not being able to start your bike. So there's pros and cons of that. But I'm going to try it the way I have it now, see if I like it, and then it's not too hard to make the change. You do have to cut off the little C-clips and put in butt connectors to then plug into the original harness, but it's really not hard to do. Earlier I mentioned that there is a handlebar control. I'm not going to install this right now because this primarily operates as a phone call function. I don't like to be on the phone when I'm riding, so I'm not even going to hook this up. You can still use the Android Auto touchscreen buttons on here to answer your call and whatnot, or I'm still going to have my phone mounted here. I can answer it that way. So I don't necessarily need to wire this up, but that's what that other connector was for, that yellow one that I tucked back here. Don't forget to put the bolts back in the bodywork. Let's set it up. Click on Android Auto, search the device via Bluetooth, Carpuride, passkeys match, Android Auto. It says connected to Rolls-Royce. But it says connected to my phone, so. Sweet! Looks just like the Android Auto on my truck. I dig it. I don't know that I'm 100% sold yet on this being worth it, but I think the functionality is really cool so far. I want to see it in use, so let's go for a ride, try out a route on GPS, run through the audio on my helmet, make sure everything like coordinates properly. I want to like it. I will say I really do like the fact that you do not have to have an app to run this. It just runs off of your phone like any Bluetooth device should. You just turn on your phone, you pair it, and it's good to go. That is a huge thing because I'm not a big apps guy. I don't want to have to open up an app to run something else. I just don't do it. Maybe I'm just old school, but I've never had tire pressure monitoring system on a bike, so I'm curious to see how it turns out and if I'm going to like that too. So these are super easy to install. You just take the old valve cap off, put the new valve cap on, and there's a lock washer. So throw them on. They are labeled as A and B, FW, RW, front wheel, rear wheel. You will lose a little bit of air when you do that, so be careful, go quick. When you're in the main screen, you click on mountings. That'll bring you into both the compass, your lean angle degrees. Ooh, that's sweet. I didn't know it had telemetry to it. But then you've also got your front wheel and your back wheel, your air pressure. Let's do PSI. You've got 32 in the front wheel and you've got 40 in the back wheel. That's slick. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. I wasn't initially on board with the TPMS, but I'm okay with it. I think it's a useful function. So I do need to connect the Carpuride to my Cardo that's in my helmet. And in order to do that, I changed the audio output. All right, so audio input. I went from Bluetooth transmission to Android Auto. When I click on that, it says, do you want to connect? And then it started playing the music on my headset. I do really like the touch sensitivity. I can use my gloves, no problem with this. I can go back and forth between settings. I can scroll. On my phone, I have to use a couple of fingers and be very deliberate with it. But on this, it seems to work really well. Like, it just works. I like that. Another thing to note there, this is a small screen, so you do have to be a little intentional with where you click. So I can run Google Maps. I've got Pandora running off of my phone to this, then into my Cardo. And I can control the volume from this, or I can control it on my Cardo. It's not a big deal. I feel like this is a good size. Visually, it's not in my way. It's not bigger than the dash. I do wish it was set back a little bit further, so I might look for a different way to mount it to that bar. I like it. It's not a huge amount of glare. Now, I did keep the screen protector on it for now. The fact that the touchscreen still works is awesome for that. I don't know. I might be sold. I might say this is a really cool thing to have. So let's talk about value real quick. As I mentioned, Carpuride sent me this, but they're constantly doing sales. But retail, you're looking around $400 for this system. Without the TPMS, without the base system, you can get it cheaper. I think the cheapest setup that they have is about $215, $220, something like that. I'll put the links below to the website. One thing that they did offer to me, I don't like making money off of these things. I don't, truly. I don't want to feel like I'm being pushed to sell you on something. But if you are so inclined, I do have a discount code that you can use in the description below that will work for any of the systems that they have, the different sizes, the different functions. If you want the TPMS, they've got one with radar detector. They've got one even that has a dash cam. I like the heads up aspect too. I mean, I know I could put my phone up there, but I like where it's at. It's very easy to see, and it shouldn't overheat because it's built to do this. In my very first video with the Ibex, I had my phone mounted in the center right here, and it kind of blocked the dash. I got called out for it in the comments. Somebody said, move your phone out of the way. I can't see the screen. I kind of like this setup. I've got my phone right here. I've got the GPS and music up here, and then I've got the primary dash of the bike right here. I can see everything I need to right here. Nice, easy cockpit, and hopefully you can see it on the camera too. Something I just thought of that is a huge win for me is I don't need to unlock my phone to change anything up in the screen. I can just operate it all through there. One last test I want to do, I can't do right now. I want to see how this does in the nighttime. How does it handle the adjustments of light? Okay, when it gets darker, will the screen get brighter? I'm curious to see how that is, so I'm going to go out for a ride tonight. One last thing to say before I try my night ride. I'm not a huge fan of turning the bike off and that staying on. I do think I want to wire it in, because finding that power switch to turn it off, although not super inconvenient, isn't convenient. Who says I have to wait till nighttime for it to be dark? I could just turn all the lights off. See what the screen looks like compared to the main dash. It's very subdued, it's not too bright. So as of right now when I'm filming this video, this setup costs $429. It is currently on sale for $310, but if you use the coupon code that I've got linked below, it'll save an additional 30% off. So it's a fantastic time to buy if that's something you're looking for. I hope you find this video useful. I've got more content coming on the Ibex. If you've got questions, leave them below as comments. I'll do my best to help you out. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.